You know, we all think we have a pretty good handle on our dogs, right? That special look, the happy tail wag, we definitely see the love. But how deep does that connection really go? What if I told you the science behind their behaviors reveals a bond that's way more profound than most of us ever imagined?
So let's just jump right in. Think about all those little things your dog does that kind of make you laugh or just shake your head. You know, the crazy spinning when you get home, the weird obsession with your socks, the way they absolutely have to follow you to the bathroom. But what if those aren't just random quirks? What if it's all part of a complex biological language? A language that, once you start to understand it, proves you're not just their owner. You are, quite literally, the center of their entire universe.
All right, so first up, let's get into the language of connection. We're going to start with those big, over the top moments of excitement we all know and love. We see it and think, oh, they're so happy. But the biology tells a much, much more dramatic story about what's really happening inside their head.
Okay, you walk through the door and your dog just explodes into a spinning tornado of fur. That's not just excitement. No, their brain is being flooded with a massive cocktail of endorphins and dopamine. We're talking the same chemicals that cause a runner's high. But here's the kicker. It's exclusive. Sure, a guest might get a tail wag, but those frantic, out-of-control spins, their brain saves that drug-like high just for you.
We all know the happy tail wag. But have you ever seen the helicopter tail? I'm talking about when it goes into a full-on 360 degrees circular spin. Well, research from the University of Trento actually found that a tail spinning in a clockwise direction is a very specific signal, one that's reserved for seeing someone the dog sees as true family. A normal wag just can't contain the sheer joy. Their whole body has to get in on the action.
And how about those times they just have to lick your face and hands over and over? According to researchers, this isn't really about giving you kisses. It's actually a deeply ingrained instinct from their wolf cub days. They're actively gathering your unique scent and mixing it with their own. They're literally trying to merge your identities on a chemical level to reaffirm that you are their pack leader. It's kind of wild when you think about it. All right, moving on. This next part, this is where things get really deep. We're going from excitement to something else entirely. These next behaviors are so powerful because they actually require your dog to fight against millions of years of their own survival instincts.
I mean, think about it. For literally any animal in the wild, survival is job number one. Their brains are hardwired with one main rule: do not be vulnerable. Ever. But when it comes to you, your dog is willing to just toss that entire evolutionary rulebook right out the window. Just let that sink in. To be vulnerable means you're open to attack. It's a potential death sentence. So when your dog willingly and consciously puts themselves in that state around you, that is the most powerful statement of absolute trust they could ever possibly make. You know that moment when your dog looks right at you and then does that slow, deliberate blink, holding their eyes closed for just a second? That is huge. Japanese researchers discovered this actually triggers a simultaneous release of oxytocin, the love hormone, in both you and your dog's brain. By closing their eyes, they are making themselves completely defenseless, basically saying, I trust you so much, I don't even need my eyes to know that I'm safe with you. And nothing shows this better than the belly-up sleep. I mean, a wolf would never ever sleep with its vital organs exposed. That's just asking for trouble. But when your dog does it near you, MRI studies have shown something incredible. The amygdala, which is the fear center of their brain, it just goes dark. It's completely silent. Their brain isn't just relaxed, it's practically screaming the message that when you're around, danger isn't even a concept.
Okay, so let's talk about the day-to-day stuff. How does this bond show up in all the little quiet moments? Because it's not always about these big grand gestures. It's more like a constant, gentle hum of connection that's happening all day long.
You know, when your dog just comes over and leans their entire body weight against you, it's not just them being cute or asking for a pet. This is actually a form of self-soothing. It's like pressure therapy. They're using you as their physical anchor, their safe base, to literally regulate their own nervous system and calm themselves down. And get this isn't just some fluffy feeling. It's real, measurable science. Studies have shown that this simple act of leaning can reduce a dog's cortisol levels, that's the main stress hormone, by up to 30%. Your physical presence is, quite literally, medicine for them.
And this is just one example of what experts call anchoring behaviors. That little paw they gently rest on your foot, or when they sit directly on your feet, or even when they act as your bathroom bodyguard. These aren't just them being clingy. They're all low-effort ways for your dog to maintain that physical connection, to constantly check in and reinforce that you're there and the bond is strong.
And they will prioritize this connection above almost anything else. Think about this for a second. It's a sweltering hot night. There's a cool tile floor just a few feet away. But where's your dog? They're pressed up against you, panting. In that moment, they're actively choosing the emotional comfort of being near you over their own physical comfort.
Okay, and for our final piece of the puzzle, how do you know if you're not just a person in their life, but the person? Let's look at the signs that show you haven't just earned their trust, but you have been officially chosen as their number one. Sure, all dogs stretch when they wake up, but I want you to pay close attention to how they do it. Does your dog wake up, scan the room until they find you, turn to face you, make direct eye contact, and then do that big, long stretch? That's what animal behaviorists call a play bow stretch. And when it's aimed right at you, it's a crystal clear signal that says you are the very first thing on my mind today. And what about the mystery of the missing sock? We've all been there. But if you find your worn sock or t-shirt moved to their bed totally intact, that's not them being naughty. It's all about scent. An anxious dog might destroy things. A bonded dog just gently relocates your stuff. They're using it as a you substitute, treating your scent like a precious treasure to comfort themselves when you're not around. And maybe the biggest tell of all? Your voice. You say sit, and they plant their butt on the floor instantly. Someone else says it, and maybe they do it after a second, or maybe they just look at them blankly. This isn't just about training. It's because your dog has decided your voice carries more weight than anyone else's. They don't just obey you. They have a deep, genuine desire to make you, specifically, happy. So, look, if any of this sounds familiar, I hope you realize what it means. This isn't just a simple pet-owner relationship. Through all that consistency and fairness and love, you've built something truly special. You've earned the most important title there is in your dog's world. Because at the end of the day, every dog-person bond is totally unique, right? So beyond all this science, just think for a second. What's that one special, secret little thing that your dog does that's just for you? I would genuinely love to hear about it.